What we getting on, folks? Look at today was a day I don't think I am going to forget in quite some time. Just when we needed something to perk us up and pick us up from the ground, um, Kilbeggan came along. Four winners. Well, look at if you take the bumper as well, it was five winners called, but four winners altogether, including the patron pick. Rula Bula obviously opened up at 5-4 in some parts of the day earlier on. Could get her a 2-1. She was an absolute bargain at that sort of a price. And she absolutely sluiced up the field without any real effort at all. Obviously, then with the likes of presenting Bonnie, very, very nice winner. We put that up at 13-2 last night. Chelsea's friend was 7-2, if I'm not mistaken, drifted out to 9-2. And then the winning nap of the day put it up at 6-1 and ended up drifting out to 17-2 and winning like a nap should do. That is exactly how we like it. The only real disappointment of the day, well, a couple of disappointments would have definitely been Galley Flight. I thought that was definitely booked for a win. And you'd have to say poor Darrell O'Keefe, he got the Rooney curse. He got the Peaky blogger curse on him. But look at the fact that it drifted out to what was it, 40-1 or 33-1, probably said it all in the end. But look at realistically, I am very, very happy with today. My phone has been absolutely hopping for the past couple of hours. So look at glad to see so many people got on board. Glad to see so many people making lots of money. And hopefully, look at we'll be able to do the very same again for you all tomorrow. Now, moving on then to tomorrow, and Listowel has generally been a fairly decent track for me in the past. We'll kick things off in the 135. Technically, it should be a no-bet race. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Annie G should be winning this, hands and heels. She put it up to Gypsy Island, very, very talented mare. Realistically, Gypsy Island is one of the best mares in racing at the moment, and has been for quite a number of years as well. Realistically, I think all she has to do is just come out here, have a bit of a hack around, and she should be winning this by a considerable margin. There's not really anything else in here of any real sort of standard. I think realistically, it definitely looks to be her race to lose if she progresses any sort of way compared to the run she put up in Tipperary against Gypsy Island that day. There shouldn't be a horse in this race that's going to live with her. She should be just miles too good and should take all the stopping. 205 is actually going to be my patron pick of the day, so I'm going to leave that one out. Realistically, it looks to be another fairly comfortable winner. 235, again, it's a tricky race. It's a very, very weak race. It's a race where you're better off backing each way horses, considering the second favorite is 7-1. I found a horse in here that's 25-1, and I honestly think this horse here has a very, very strong hand to play. Obviously, look at Mick Winter's horse here, Python. It's going to be very hard to beat that horse. Obviously, coming fifth or fourth behind Galley Flight last time out. Obviously, Galley Flight stayed on well for third there today. Didn't necessarily progress the way I'd have liked, but yeah, I think Python at 4-7, it just, I don't know. I think it's just a little bit dangerous and a little bit, what's the word? It's no real value backing it at 4-7 with what it's shown already on the track. Obviously, look at it is the one they all have to beat, and it's going to take a very, very nice looking horse on in this sort of field to be able to do it. But I have one down here for Farmer Doyle and Jack Foley. Jack Foley, a very, very talented sort, usually rides for Tom Mullins. Tom and Tony Mullins, the two of them usually get him. But Chase Me, Charlie is definitely very, very interesting here. And let me tell you why. On its first start, it was fifth in a pint to pint behind Gunsight Ridge, Pat's Fancy, Jovial Spirit, Dave and Bernie, ahead of the Rubitron, Dynamite Kentucky, Carfax, Epic Adventure, and Spread the Message. Now, that doesn't necessarily scream a winner here. But when you look at the next run, when it was staying on to be a fairly decent enough fifth, Johnny Max won this race. Now, that hasn't won since, but it won this particular race. Our Surprise has won recently enough. Actually, since that run in Monk's Grange it was. I'm just going back to it here now. I'm after losing the horse. Okay, Monk's Grange, second. It won next time out in Locknmore. Then went on into rules, then was bought over and brought over to England. Third on his debut, second next time out, won last time out. Next horse then, Sempione Park, has won a pint to pint. If it'll let me click on it. Mike South, no actual idea where that is, to be quite honest. Tight Pockets hasn't won since. Patient Owner hasn't won since, put in a fairly nice third though. Gallo Flight has won all right. That Gallo Flight was at Gallo Ford, should I say, actually, for Katie Price. That horse was a considerable margin back behind it. Fanamix, very, very talented sort in the pint-to-pint scenes. It's won twice since in the pint-to-pints. Since that particular run, it was seventh that day, won the next two fairly comfortably. Valley Shad hasn't won anything. But when you look at what it's produced and what horses have come out of that, produced 5 winners in that pint-to-pint alone, that to me screams some sort of quality. The fact that he was staying on for fifth in that field, definitely looks to be no slouch anyway. And providing that Sean Doyle can get this horse right, ready to go for his first outing under rules, there's no better man, in my personal opinion. I think he's very, very talented. Doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think it's well worth a play each way at 25-1. I think he's really, really nicely thrown in here. A very, very weak race should cause a bit of an upset, and hopefully, if the favour doesn't produce, this lad certainly will. 305, Rare Connor. He broke my heart the last day, and I'm going to stick by him again. He put in a very, very nice performance over 2 mile 6, back down to 2 mile 4 here. Should definitely play to his strengths. The ground should definitely suit. Being from the family of our Connor, obviously, you would want a little bit more cut in the ground, but he does handle good ground as well. Obviously, look at Tom Gibney, a man in serious form. James O'Sullivan, another man that's been in great form so far this season. Really, really like the look of him here. I think he's got a great overall chance and should take plenty of stopping. He was well cleared the last time. The drop back down by 2 furlongs is definitely going to suit him. All that happened on the last day was he got outstayed. I really, really like the look of him. I think he's got a great overall potential, and it looks like the win is coming sooner rather than later with him. And I think 7-2 is definitely a nice price to get about. Now, moving on into the next race, and one that I have been following for quite some time. This one here is the 335, and it's a horse that I've huge admiration for, and I think he's got great overall ability for producing runs that are certainly not expected of him. And this one here, Brosna George for Stephen Carey and Mike O'Connor, claiming £7, practically coming in here on bottom weight as it is, but realistically it looks to be a very, very nice horse. And he's an old boy now. Look at he is getting on in life. He is a 10-year-old, but as we've seen last time out, there's life in the old dog yet. went fourth at 100-1 behind Thunder Rosa, What You Call Her, and That's Life Boy. Now, keep an eye on the horse that came in fifth, a length and a half behind him, Lord Lariat for Carl Thornton. This horse here is a very, very talented sort. This lad could have went to Cheltenham, could have went to Aintree, wherever you wanted. He is a very, very talented sort, very talented handicapper. He's got plenty of ability to mix it with some of the best handicappers in the country. And Brosna George finished well. Look at, he finished a length and a half ahead of him on his last outing. That was his first run in almost a year. So that just shows the sign of life he's in. He's got great overall potential, great overall ability. Obviously, look, it would be great for him to win, get his head in front again, but the ground is definitely going to suit him. He's won over distance before. He loves good ground. Last time he won was in Down Royal on good ground when trained by Arthur Moore ahead of Sir Hector, Mashed Potato, Peranto, Serious Ego, Curly and Kate, Boris Baru, Red Clue, Cairnhill, Mount Melick Girl, the Broom Squire. Look at your average handicap field. He's a decent horse and he's a decent sort. Like when you look at right, okay, he was second in Navan or 2 years ago now, the 15th of December 2019. Behind on Frake Moore for Ross O'Sullivan. And Frake Moore is a very, very talented chaser. Ahead of Diamond Turf at the Acorn, a very talented sort for the Martin setup. Cool Saint, Conor, Bentham, a talented sort, like Letector as well. Look at it's all there on paper. This horse can mix it with the best of them. He's on a very, very nice weight, very, very low weight. He's 18-1. I can't understand why. I think he's definitely well worth an each way play. He should appreciate the ground. He's definitely a horse on good form, and he should be able to mix it with these. I think he's got a great overall chance, and don't be surprised to see this lad getting his head in front. He's got plenty of things to like about him. 18-1 is an absolute crazy price. It's the best price of the day, without a shadow of a doubt. Moving on then to the feature race of the day, the 405. It's a tricky one. Obviously, look at Sam Crow, Durasso, two very, very talented horses. Sam Crow, obviously, being a very nice sort. Peregrine Run as well. Oh, it's going to kill me going against Peregrine Run, but I'm going to do it because the weights are just completely against him. He absolutely loves it around Killarney. He shows a good run around Listowel as well. It's going to break my heart, but I'm going to go against him, and I'm going to go with Henry de Bromhead and Hugh Morgan with Abbey Magic, another lovely, lovely mare that I absolutely love. She is a very, very talented sort. She's going to go from the front. She's going to set the pace. There's no doubt about it. She's going to set the pace, going to ping every fence, and she's going to be bang there in the finish. It's going to take a very, very good horse to stop her, especially with the low weight. 10 stone 9 with Hugh Morgan claiming £5. Look at it. It's like a flat weight when you think about it. It's really, really open up the door for her, providing that if she's fit and ready to go. I wouldn't necessarily write it off. I definitely think she is a very, very talented sort. She came back in Kilbeggan last year after 2 years off, and she was just absolutely done on the line by Vizio Man, a very, very talented sort for Henry de Bromhead. Next time out, one going away ahead of Lake Milan, Arnua, Jan Matt, Camino, Dakota Moret, Us and Them, the Boucher, like these very, very talented horses. Obviously, look at has been mixing it, matching it with different opponents, but she appreciates good ground. She's going to go from the front. She's going to make a good, strong test of this. If Sam Crow turns up, he generally doesn't. Well, I wouldn't say he doesn't, but he tends to throw the ties out of the pram. And I think today could be the day. I think he just wants a little bit more juice in the ground and a little bit more testing conditions than what it is. The good ground isn't necessarily going to suit him all that well. So just be prepared for Sam Crow to throw the ties out of the pram and Abbey Magic to be thereabouts in the finish. I think 8-1 is a great price about her. Moving on then to the nap of the day, the 4:35, and I cannot look past wing leader for David Christie and Barry O'Neill. Currently priced at 7-4. It looks to be Christie's race to lose with the first and second favourite. He probably has a few more in here as well. He's another one. He's another 1, 2. Just counting how many Christie horses there is. There's 4 Christie horses in this race. So take your pick. He does well in these sorts of hunter chase events. I just think wing leader is a class above the field and realistically should not be caught today. Ground should be fine. Conditions definitely fine. We'll appreciate the sort of the sort of a course that Listowel is. It's a funny sort of a course. Like if you have a good front running sort, it does tend to be a nice front running track, but it does also open up the opportunity there for a staying on horse as well. But look at wing leader, looks to be the class above and should take all the stopping here. Finally, then the next best of the day, we're going straight from the nap to the next best. Beret Rouge for Willie and Patrick Mullins here. Currently priced at 7-4, on a bit of a drift. I don't really know why. Absolutely ran away with the field when ridden by Jody Townend in Roscommon last year. It was actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was on my birthday or very close to it, the 24th of June, 2 days away from my birthday. But yeah, definitely gave me a very, very nice birthday present that day. I absolutely love the look of her. I think good ground is her thing. She should take plenty of stopping here. She is going to go from the front. Going to be a very, very hard horse to stop, but keep an eye on John McConnell's horse. A very, very talented sort as well. I just think that Beret Rouge has that little bit more class in the locker, and the fact that John McConnell unfortunately hasn't been hitting it on all cylinders as well is just turning me off his charge here today. But look, I'm going to leave it there. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. Look, if I made you any sort of money at all there today and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? That's one way that you can repay me or say thanks to me or whatever else like that. But if you're feeling a little bit more generous, if you won a little bit more money there today, I would suggest considering doing the patron option as well. For the sake of €10 a month, you get my well-researched info, Ryan's well-researched info. You get monthly giveaways. This month we haven't given away yet, so you're still time to get your name in the hat. €40 worth of prizes from Scratch and Reveal and Hacked Up Horse Racing gifts. As well as that, we've a great WhatsApp group as well. It's hard to keep track of it all, but today in particular, like, it has been a very, very successful day for not just myself and not just Ryan, but the lads on the WhatsApp group as well. So look, for the sake of €10 a month, it's definitely well worth considering getting involved. I leave a link in the description below, and if you want to do that, it is greatly, greatly appreciated. But look, very, very best of luck tomorrow. Some very, very nice prices out there. I do wish you all the very, very best of luck, and hopefully we'll be able to keep continuing this good run of form. I certainly don't want it to stop. I'm going to have another bit of a crack at the betting tomorrow, considering it is bank holiday. But look, if we get the winners, we get the winners. If we don't, we don't. We just move on to the next day. Thanks very much, folks. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. And the very, very best of luck tomorrow.